Hi there, folks. Glad you found us, and you're going to love this, especially if you're passionate about the future of the game. This is Perfect Games Class Review. We take a look at the very best freshmen to seniors in the country. In other words, classes 26 all the way up to 23, and we focus in this show on the bats of the 2025 class. In other words, the best sophomores, most of whom you can guess, as we head into the 2023 high school season, are going to be playing varsity baseball as sophomores. To give us the best perspective, the great writer and scout Jeremy Brown will be joining us very, very soon. And I'm going to put him right to work on the first man we shine a light on. He's a young man who gets chill inside of the hot yoga room, something I'm not able to do. But he's got the drive of his dad a firefighter, keeping everybody safe along the east coast of Florida, up north. And speaking of that east coast, way to go, St. Augustine. In just about every class, we have one of the top players in the country who's from St. Augustine or Jacksonville, Florida. That beautiful city by the water, that city of history. And that's what Jacob Kendall is doing, making history. Let's get to know him.
From the left side of the batter's box out of St. Augustine, Florida, the player of the year, very talented player as he loads the back leg and goes to work. Line drive, base hit. Kendall backs up all the hardware he has earned. Describe as deeply as you want your hitting approach.
My approach is just get a strike, find a barrel, find a gap, try to get a double. Just keep it simple, not doing too much, not trying to hit a home run. Just helping the team out, get on base, having the confidence, working out so much that you can transfer it to a game, and being able to know that you're one of the top players, you can hang with these guys. I do a lot of stuff on my own. I do push-ups, sit-ups a lot. Try to get a target of 200 a day. Just keep it simple like that. Just make sure I'm doing that consistently. And then I might have this thing called Hot Works at night. It's like hot yoga. About 130 degrees. And just doing yoga helps you in game. And I go hit with my buddy sometimes, meet up with them, and we'll all get working together. And then I do off the tee a lot. I'll stay in there for about an hour. Just work on staying middle, not doing too much off the tee, and just finding my right swing path. I just want to strike the hit, be selective, and make sure I get a strike to hit, and I'll just hit it anywhere it's pitched. That's what I've been better at this year, just not pulling and going backside with every pitch.
What have the Select Festival experiences been like for you?
It's been incredible, getting to see the top competition, playing versus them, and getting to see what I'm going up against, and just having fun with everybody. Hotels were fun. We had food supplied for us. That was just one of the most exciting events I've been to. I just got my name out there, and I'm grateful for it, very grateful. It's got me going. That's my future. That's what I want my future to be.
When I bump into you in 10 years, what is your future going to look like?
Hopefully I'm playing in the majors for any team, I don't care. Just any team. Hopefully I'm playing. Stay humble, and it'll come to you if you succeed, have a good success. And just be chill and don't be like a clown. Just stay chill.
I love it because he hides in there, don't be a clown, stay chill. That drive, that passion, it's buttoned up underneath there. That's where dad comes through. Jeremy Brown spends time with us now. Jacob's a pretty cool customer. He's kind of got that California vibe, if you will. But that's not who he is. It's so funny how he came across in that interview and that feature, which we love doing at the Junior National Showcase H. This is a driven, talented hitter.
Absolutely. You see him on social media with kind of what he does, how he gets ready for the next challenge at hand. He was the 14U Player of the Year. He's committed to Florida. He's got all these accolades, but he's still hungry. He's still looking to get after it and progress to that next step, next level of player. And part of our job is the social media aspect of it. When you get players like Jacob, it makes your job easier because you can go up to the fence, go down the left field line, get some open face video, and he's going to give you a barrel. And that's the consistency we've come to expect from him from 13 years old on already. And with that, we've started seeing him tap into some of that power, and the training is paying off on the field as well, where the barrel skills have always been there, have been some of the best in the class, and now he's getting a little more lift in his path, a little more strength to his frame, and the balls are starting to clank off the fence or go over as opposed to just splitting the gaps.
I just learned something. So basically, you go down the line, and that's where the side swings come from. You guys are doing all the work. You don't have that a professional crew that you hire out. That's what goes on.
we are starting now with cameras where we just go pull the memory card, makes it so much easier. So Jared Goodwin will be happy that we threw that one in there for him.
Good mention. It's always good to mention a man who feels like all of our bosses, Jared Goodwin, the National Scouting Director. Hey, let's throw up the top 10 because Kendall is in that 6th spot in the top 10. So as I look at 1 through 10 and I see all those hitters in there, there's one pitcher, Sam Cozart. He's 6'7". He snuck inside of there. It's a funny theme when you look at the top 10 offensively. They're all from the left side. What other themes do you see with this top 10?
They're all really good, talented, will all be committed D1 and probably remain close to the top 10 throughout their careers. I mean, you're talking about high-level bats, high-level prospects that stand out now, and for the life of me, I don't see them not standing out come 2-3 years down the road. So it's a really good group. We're still uncovering names almost every time there's a huge tournament, national tournament for the 25 class. But what we have now is pretty special.
Number 1, Noah Franco. He's committed to go to Mississippi State, leaves his family to go to IMG, which I think is courageous for a man that young. But who is he as a player?
He's a special talent. You know, he's listed as an outfielder. He's just as talented on the mound. I wouldn't doubt even as a primary left-handed pitcher, he'd still be number 1, still lead the class rankings. But when you look at the body, the long 6'3", broad shoulders, everything you want physically, and then he knows how to utilize that body, the strength, the swing, everything you want. And not to mention he's also up to 91 on the mound from the left side. So flip a coin where he ends up, but right now he looks like a premier prospect in the 2025 class.
Well, this past July, Jackson Holliday, to use your phrase, ended up at 1-1, the number 1 overall pick by the Orioles. He's got a younger brother who's number 2 in the rankings, Ethan Holliday. Dad is Matt Holliday, the brand new coach with the St. Louis Cardinals, who was coaching in Oklahoma State and a legendary player. All kinds of Hollidays, right? That's a wonderful name. The funny thing about it is Big Bro goes 1-1, and you guys and everyone's been telling us Ethan's better than Big Bro.
I mean, that's scary to think about, right? Like Jackson literally was the first overall pick. And I'd seen Jackson at 14U. I've seen Ethan at 14U a bunch. And there, truthfully, no offense to Jackson, there isn't a comparison right now when they were both 14. Obviously, Jackson put in the work, and he's the best. He went 1-1. But Ethan is just a lot more physical than Jackson was at this age. Jackson was the sure-handed defender on the left side, where Ethan stands out with the bat. I love the swing. It's very fluid. Just one of those pretty left-handed swings that you love to see and will watch time and time again. And since 13, 14U and now into now, present day, he's showing that strength. And the ball just jumps. He can go backside. He can pull it. And the arm strength is plenty for the left side as well. But with him, it's definitely a more physical offensive approach. And there's a reason he's ranked number 2 in the class.
Franco and our number 3 ranked player, Caminiti, are on another segment because they may pop up as talented pitchers. You'll have to watch that segment to hear about Caminiti as a pitcher. I want you to tell us about this bat out of Scottsdale, Arizona, actually lives right around the corner here, who is committed to go to LSU. Tell us about Caminiti.
He's another one that just continues to get stronger every time we see him. The physical aspect of his game continues to jump. And with that, so is the ball coming off his barrel. Left-handed swing, obviously. Everybody in the 25 class seems to be a left-handed hitter. But he's got the strength, he's got the hand-eye coordination to put the ball in play. He was our 14U player, two-way player of the year a couple years back at the Select Festival. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't want to spoil it too much. 96 from the left side usually gets all the headlines. I'm not saying where Cam's going to end up, but that's hard for me to ignore.
Watch the segment. Watch the segment. There's no spoilers. Your generation has taught me that. Don't be spoiling content. Sean Gamble's from Iowa, and I love the next 2 players we're going to talk about, Iowa, then New York. They're not those warm weather states. Gamble is from Iowa, the state that birthed Gamble and Perfect Game, and he's a young man that's interesting. He's uncommitted, USA Prime National, one of the travel teams he has played for. This is a middle infielder, a left-handed hitter, Sean Gamble at number 4.
Yeah, he was 13U Select Fest, 14U Select Fest, right up until, rewind 2 years, 13U. He got his name very late, and it's like, hey, we got to get him to the National to see if he's good enough for the Select Festival. Comes to the 14U National as a 13-year-old player. More than holds his own. Love the swing. Defensively, he's making plays during the game. His age didn't matter. He blended right in. Made the 13U game, made the 14U game. Comes out to the class of 2025 National Showcase, and he's putting balls over the scoreboard on Field 1 at East Cobb, and all the scouts there, we kind of looked at each other like, oh, he can do that now too? So he's continuing to evolve as a prospect. He can play the outfield, he can play the infield. He's got that defensive versatility, but what he's doing offensively and the strides he's making, showing that juice does play in game as well, it's a pretty special package, and it looks like to be another high-end prospect coming out of Iowa.
A half generation ago, Marcus Stroman came to a perfect game event national showcase before going to Duke as a shortstop. Now, he pitched too, but he came as a shortstop.
Yeah.
Now, as we get past that half generation, he's got a younger brother. He's twice been a Select Festival athlete. He made an incredible highlight a couple of years ago at the 13U game. His name is Jayden Stroman. He is out of Medford, New York, and he too is a Duke commit.
Yeah, there's just so much to like with Jayden. I love to get Marcus's scouting notes on him, comparing himself to Jayden at the same age, because Jayden is a switch hitter. He's full of twitch, a 6'6" runner. You would think his best swing would be left-handed, given he's always scoring off against right-handed arms. Then he comes out to the 14U Select Fest this past year, and he's putting balls over the monster right-handed during the home run derby. Then he goes off the wall left-handed in game, so you're torn, like which is your better side, I don't know. And it's upper 80s arm strength across the mound. Everything is just like what you would expect given what Marcus has done on the diamond. You would think little brother would inherit some of that, and I'd say he's inherited all of that and maybe a little more even. So Jayden Stroman looks to be following his brother's footsteps, Duke commit, high-end prospect out of New York.
Let's put a laser focus on the number 25 ranking where we see Mason Pike. He's out of Puyallup, Washington, and he's an Oregon State commit. Really enjoyed getting to know the family in the summertime. We'll share some of that with you. But before I do that, I'd like for you to tell us who Mason Pike is as a player.
He's a really good switch hitting shortstop, like fluid, just the athleticism in the dirt stands out immediately. The footwork, the arm strength, the glove work, it's just top notch of what he does defensively. Then you see him switch hit. It's a mirrored swing, right-handed, left-handed, ton of barrel. You got the strength coming. He's not the most physical of players just yet, but the hand-eye, the barrel skills, everything you want. He's a complete player, and there's no wonder that Oregon State wanted to commit him as early as they did.
And we did get to know him this summer at Perfect Game's Sophomore National Showcase. It was a thrill to get to know Dad and son. And Dad, much like Jacob Kendall's father earlier, is a man who's keeping the public safe up in Puyallup, Washington, working the night shift as a man who's a police officer. Here is the story in my conversation with a very gifted young man out of the great Northwest, Mason Pike.
Mason Pike out of Puyallup, Washington.
He is a true switch hitter. It's almost equal bat speed from the left and right side, and that is so unusual for players this age.
So baseball in the Northwest, I want to know all about it because I'm a little biased to the West, but I also am intrigued as a SoCal guy by baseball in the Northwest. But we've seen a lot of great young talented players come from your neck of the woods.
Yeah, so we practice indoor a lot between the winter time because it's always raining, and then our select teams usually travel out to all over and play tournaments with you guys and whoever else. And we have a lot of good ball players out of there.
You're one of those dastardly switch hitters that's so tough to manage. It's really, really tough to manage. But what goes into it?
I started when I was like 7.
Why?
It's just my dad teaching me how to hit, and I would mirror his swing. So that kind of got me into left-handed, and then he would also just have me swing right-handed, and it just worked. And I was pretty good at both from a young age.
Very, very interesting. I want to talk a little bit about your father because his name is Mark, right?
Right.
I'm personally very thankful when anyone in law enforcement takes that on as their career. As a son, what have you learned from his career?
I've learned that you gotta be good in life and stay on track, because if you don't, you can get in trouble and not do the dreams you want. And he's been a really good mentor.
It seems like as a son, you'd be like almost sometimes nervous. Is he out in the field a lot, or?
He works nights, so he sleeps when I'm at school and he's awake when I get home, so.
Tough assignment though,
Yeah.
working the nights.
Yeah, he likes it though. He's been doing it for his whole career.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Was he the reason you fell for baseball, do you think?
He was more of like a football, basketball guy. He's played all the sports, but I would say I liked baseball more because he got me into wrestling first.
Okay.
So I wrestled for my whole life, and then I got tired of it because you had to cut weight and all that. And I was like, geez. So then I switched to baseball when I was younger, and I liked that more.
Wrestling.
Yeah.
That's a great sport, though.
Oh, yeah.
You're in control of your core now, getting older, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about wrestling. How long ago did you stop?
I stopped when I was like 12.
Okay.
Because I wasn't getting much bigger, and then I went all these events, and these kids were huge. So that
Wait,
was.
don't they have weight classes?
Yeah, they do. And my wrestling coach, he always wanted me to wrestle like down because I was kind of a smaller kid, and I was winning. So.
I love the fact that you also carry a good GPA. Tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about your mind and how, you know, grades matter to you.
My mom and my aunt's a high school teacher, so she makes sure my grades are good, and I just study with her.
What do you love? What do you love learning about?
Math. She's my math teacher, so.
Your aunt is your math teacher.
Yeah, she will be next year.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can't get in trouble at school.
Nope.
You got to keep your nose clean at Puyallup High School.
Yep.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yep.
Talk to me about Coach Cannon.
He's-
Oregon State.
Yeah, he's great. He's a very nice guy, and I talk to him probably once a month around there, and I talked to Ryan Gibson, the assistant head coach. I send him hitting clips, and then we'll get on a phone call, and he'll tell me what's wrong and what I'm doing well.
You're getting older, so your body's changing, right? But talk to me about kind of your progression from year to year. Tell me about that. And are you chasing numbers? I mean, do they matter?
Yeah, they do matter
Okay.
to me. Because I hate going on there and seeing my numbers all lower than everyone else's. So every year I try to make big jumps, but I've gained a lot of strength and muscle, so we'll see.
All right, pal. Appreciate it.
Yep.
I think my favorite part about that conversation was he admitted, I'm chasing numbers. Why else would I be coming to these events? I look at my metrics. I want to have a higher batting average. I am chasing numbers. H, a couple of guys that chase numbers are moving up the ranks, a couple of risers, if you don't mind, before we let you go, focusing on a couple of them. At the 20 spot is an Ole Miss commit. He's a shortstop out of Advanced, North Carolina. His name is Coy James. Why is he climbing?
So Coy, he's one that at the 13U level, he was low 80s, had a hammer curveball. You're like, maybe this will develop into something on the mound and maybe he'll end up an arm long term. Up to 88 now. But then you see what he's doing with the bat, and there's no denying he's going to be either a shortstop, center field type with his athleticism. But the swing, it's long, it's beautiful, it's fluid. One of our scouts said it's pretty much picture perfect. They put in quotes in their notes, and it really is. You go watch it on any type of film, and it's just impressive. And he's getting stronger. That seems to be a theme, 14 to 15 to 16. Who knows, kids get stronger. But that's what he's doing. He's putting in the work behind the scenes, and the results are showing up for him. Won the MVP of the international tournament with the 15U USA team, continues to collect accolades, 2-time Select Festival, and he's only beginning his baseball resume. Just committed to Ole Miss this past week, so a lot of things are going in Coy James' favor right now.
This is such an unfair question to ask about a sophomore in high school, but at number 21 is Carter Smith. Can baseball hold on to Carter Smith because he's that kind of an athlete that is probably going to have his choice?
Oh, he's absolutely going to have his choice. And at the end of the day, I don't know much about football. I can watch tape, as they call it, and scout him that way. But he looks to be that type of level quarterback. All the accolades that are coming through his social media page. You start seeing that class ranking come out, the stars. They do all the stars in football. And it seems like he's going to have his pick from Bishop Verot. But that said, he's a slick fielding shortstop, was our 13U Player of the Year, up to 91 when he was 14, so the arm strength's there. Dad used to throw fuel in the minor leagues, so there's a lot going. There's a lot of athleticism, and it's going to just be a fun ride to see where Carter Smith ends up. Gridiron, diamond, what school, what professional sport at the end of the day.
Jeremy, you get 4 stars for your scouting and writing skills and breaking down players, dude. We really appreciate your insights.
Appreciate it, Sut.
And so now you know about the future of baseball. This, the class of 2025, the very best bats in the nation. Again, we're enjoying going all through freshman to senior as we head into the 2023 high school baseball season. That wraps up this class review. On behalf of H, I'm Darren Sutton. Thanks for hanging with us again on Perfect Game TV.